Hey, what's going on, Archons? It's time for a Patreon supporter video, and we're going deep into Vaultboy's vault. Actually, not that deep, because this is a Dark Tidings deck, so it's relatively new. And as always, the SAS shall not be shown. All we will look at is the stats, the cards, and I'll let you know what I think of the deck. Little side note, asterisk, maybe even Dark Tidings, I will say I feel maybe the least prepared to talk about. I haven't got my has it been 3 months since it came out? I don't know if it has or hasn't, but I feel like I need a little bit more time with Dark Tidings before I feel truly proficient at assessing. But nonetheless, I'll give a stab at it and see what we can do here. I do see some interesting things. First off, let's go into Ember Control here. What is giving minuses? See, this is what I thought. There's going to be minuses. So there's technically a -2. So it's a 4.8 actually. I always look at that. I don't consider Exalting to fall into that category like others do. So here we are. It's got a good Ember score and a good creature control score as well. A nice speed. But it's only got 15 creatures, which is fine. In fact, the fact that it only has 9 printed Ember and a score of 23 says a lot about the deck. So what do I like about this deck? Let's go first into logos, as I do. Archon's Callback, really nice turn 1 play to give you an advantage. It also has 2 final analysis, which I'm a big fan of, with a Forgive and Forget, which I think may fall into a few different categories. It also has Science and Theory or Conjecture. You know what? Great cards. Archive. These go into Eddie quite nicely. And then also you have Professor Garwin. So what I'm seeing here right off the top is the final analysis won't hit too hard, simply just because you have the issue of not a lot of creatures. Not only that, okay, I'm seeing how this works now. You have the Medicus Laucus, which I guess if you can protect those and keep the tide, puts you in an interesting situation. I kind of like Quintana, where you're exalting, your opponent could be exalting, and then you final analysis and get some Ember that way. I see that being a little bit of a burst. Science is obviously going to do work because you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that are actions in Logos. Yeah, the archiving is pretty insane here. I'm a big fan of Forgive and Forget. I think it's one of my favorite action cards in the set. With Theory and Conjecture, a lot of archiving. So I think Professor Garwin is actually very important in this. I do not see any Taunt, which would be nice. Oh no, Lapisaurus. Yeah, so Lapisaurus I think is actually a pretty important card here. And I think Medicus Laucus falls under the category. So, oh, I forgot to go here. I'm all over the place right now. Binary Moray, also really nice. Again, more archiving. There does not seem to be much tide changing, though. Yeah, all I see for tide changing comes in the form of... Okay, wow, I'm actually seeing this deck now. Beach Day. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, there is no tide changing. So you're taking chains. But due to the ability to archive and whatnot, I think it'll be less pronounced. Wow, I'm literally all over the place here. That's okay, though. Like I said, I don't feel as proficient with Dark Tidings. This is what I'm talking about. Static Charge is fine. I do not see it existing in any sense other than just being something annoying for your opponent. It might be something nice to have to set up a final analysis so your opponent has less creatures, potentially. But I think Professor Garwin is actually a very important creature within this deck, because I foresee you having quite a few really good opportunities to have a nice, gigantic archive and being able to pull cards as you need it. So maybe get the logos out if it goes in there as you need, or set up a next turn. So I kind of like that idea. Moving on to Saurian. So, Saurian, you got Carpe Venum, Exalting. I think that's important. Ostracize, Purge is always great. Spoils of Battle. I feel that Quintana and the Vita all lead to this being really nice. I guess this as well too. Ficus Felix could work. You could exalt your own creature if needed to get more out of the spoils of battle. But yes, I see the spoils of battle putting in a lot of work. I suppose, yeah, no, that's how it works. And then you also have Crassosaurus, which is really interesting in this deck. Because, I mean, it all comes down to how easily you can let Medicus Laucus work. Because if you can make Medicus Laucus work, which I don't see why you ever would, because at the end of the day, your opponent's just going to take the chains instead of letting you forge. But if the chains don't matter as much to you because you have so much archive and because you can store your deck in that way through logos, it may hinder your opponent to the point where it gives you the advantage, which I think exists within this. Venator Ultim, again, pretty good to getting Ember on it to spend. I do like it with Siren's Horn too. Venator and Siren's Horn seems a really cool combination. Or what am I thinking here? Obviously Crassosaurus. With that 2 armor, I think you can Siren's Horn to actually use it to go into the creature it fights, fight low power creatures and get a lot of value that way. I see that being a thing here as well, which is really neat. Oh, yeah. Assert dominances with the previously mentioned Crassosaurus Siren's Horn. That's a thing too. You fight with it. It has skirmish. You move the Ember. You kill the creature. You get stuff back. That's really good. I'm also a fan of Beach Days. Simply because we got Chelonias and Deepwater Gruins here. Makes it really amazing. So that's really cool. I'm a big fan of that. I could see you using it for maybe Edeye as well, just to give you that potential to, if Edeye's not putting in work right now, for example, you know it's going to be on the board, it's unprotected, anything like that. They're not threatening checks, so the archive situation is not important. Put Edeye back into your hand, drop it down again next turn. If you plan to already call logos, it could provide value in that way. So I do like that for that purpose. Alternately, the Fittest is, I think, maybe the most annoying card in Dark Tidings because I find you're putting just so many +1 counters on creatures. I don't like this card for the sake that you literally have to rummage for so many +1 tokens. I hate it. Well, yeah. So this is the card that I think is actually doing all the work. This could be incredible with how Quintana works. If you can keep Quintana on board, this card is going to put in work and give you that burst. So this is definitely an archive card you want to put in your archives. Hopefully you can keep Quintana on the board and protected. I think even Lapisaurus on Quintana is important. Interesting. Very interesting. I see that being really cool. Ritual of Life, one of the greatest artifacts in the set. Destroy a friendly creature. If you do, return a different creature from a discard pile to your hand. So many options here. I mean, Deepwater Gruin, destroy something, get your Deepwater Gruin back. Key Frog, you pop your Key Frog this way. So if you word of returning into your Key Frog here, plus Chelonia. I mean, is there a way? I'm trying to think if there's a... Okay, so if your Key Frog is ready, you could do your Shenanigans with Deepwater Gruin, Chelonia, Ritual of Life. No, Word of Returning, sorry, not Ritual of Life. Fight with your Key Frog, forge a key, and then you Ritual of Life, destroy something else, return your Key Frog to your hand, play it again. I don't know how you destroy it the second time, but you can set yourself up for a good situation. Yeah, I guess it doesn't work the second time because you wouldn't be able to return it twice. But yeah, there's something there. There's somehow, like, even just getting it back on board and you have a lot of Ember, so your opponent can't kill it, and it sets you up to be in a position where you can pop it yourself next turn. It's pretty good. This creature, okay. So Instrument of Silence, that is going on Crassosaurus with the Siren Horn. 100%. If you can pull that off, you are literally laughing all the way to the bank. That is so good. Literally to the bank. You're gaining potentially 2 Ember every turn off of that. I really like that potential. So I was all over the map with this. So basically now, in summation, you want your deck to start archiving things that are going to be pieces using your logos. There's tons of pieces here. The Word of Returning, the Beach Days, the Assert Dominances, the Instrument of Silence even. And then you want to come into that turn once you set up this great Saurian situation with hopefully Lapisaurus, Crassosaurus, Spoils of Battle, Siren's Horn onto Crassosaurus, I think is the cheat code there. And then you throw down the Instrument of Silence, and you just do some really interesting stuff there. If you can have double Assert Dominance and an Instrument of Silence on your Crassosaurus and fight with Siren's Horn, like let's say that Magic Christmas Land happens, you're essentially throw down Instrument of Silence, you go Lapisaurus, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 Ember just off 2 Assert Dominance and Instrument of Silence. Is there an Ember Pip on this? No, there's not. So yeah, I kind of like that. It's really fun, and you're taking off the Ember off of Crassosaurus. So I see that being a really cool play. I feel very scattered in this analysis today, so I apologize for that. But I see how this deck plays. It's really interesting. One thing to note, Edi, Information Exchange, and you have the good old Spoils of Battle. That is where your Ember control exists. 3 cards. I could see Edi stalling for 1 turn, Spoils of Battle stalling for 1 turn, Information Exchange, if it comes at the right time, can take your opponent off check. So, I mean, you're essentially buying yourself 3 turns. So speed is key with this deck. I may have to play this a couple times on stream tomorrow to really get its feel, because I think there is nuances that could be overlooked or misplays that could happen very easily. But I'm excited to check it out and see how Regina, Lightbulb, Aphid Wrinkle play. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you wish to become a Patreon and get me to do this for you, analyze one of your decks, give it a rundown and play it, as well as you get access to my lower Patreon things, including a once-a-month coaching session if that's something you're interested in, please check out my Patreon. Link in the show notes. And as always, folks, may your Ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.